So this is completely off the cuff. I'm being told it's a very bad connection, as it always is when I try to do this sort of stuff. I've not done a YouTube live before, so I'm interested to see how this goes. But basically what I wanted to talk about was the circus. I just went to the circus, and it occurred to me when I was trying to find the website, there were some things coming up about, you know, people saying, oh, avoid the circus and they're cruel to animals, and I was sort of like, oh, I forgot that we're not meant to go to the circus. But actually it was really good, and I'm kind of questioning why we decided it wasn't a good thing in the first place. And I know there was the whole animal cruelty thing, but I also know that a lot of people that aren't cruel to their animals get a hard time from people who have absolutely no experience with that. Like, I'm from country areas where there are sheep and cattle, and there was a big hoo-ha recently where they accused all farmers of treating sheep badly, and I just know that's not how it is, or their dogs badly, and, you know, racehorses, and there's always a few there's always a few bad apples, but I just feel like generally overall most people that have animals are good to them, and normally animal people are like nicer than people. But anyway, it was awesome, but it was also a bit terrifying. I spent a good chunk of the time doing this. And like, that's enough now. Thank you. You frightened me sufficiently. That's very good. Hop down now. On you go. Lovely. There was one point where they had this big, it's like, I've seen it before, but not with this fella who was a little bit loose. And it was like a double-ended bar, and it's got a big circle, and a person hops in at the start, and, you know, it's like the weight of each person and the movement, and the whole thing rotates, and they rotate within the little end of each thing. And it was pretty cool, and you could see that they were getting some good height, and you know, I was impressed with that. And one end was a girl and one end was a boy, and the girl had like a little string across hers, and I felt comfortable with that because she had something to hold on to a little bit. But he was just going like free, like he had no sides on his circle, and you just got to balance. I don't know, it's probably about 1 meter wide, but maybe not that wide. And so then he got off, and we're like, yeah, good, that was really good, thank you. And then he bloody jumped, he grabbed onto the outside edge of it and jumped on, and then started going around the outside, and that scared the shit out of me. And then he started doing extra stuff. At one point he's juggling, I'm doing that, and then he tries to skip, and he trips and loses his balance and gets off time and nearly falls off the fucking thing. I'm like, oh my God. And then they do, and I don't know whether this is part of the show, but when they muck up or when they're trying to build suspense, they all go, oh, one more time, and they'll try and do it one more time, and he's going, yeah, one more time, and I'm going, that was good, mate, we can see, you know. I said to my husband, do you reckon that's part of the show? And we both agree that we were not convinced that he was just a loose cannon. Maybe had a few, I don't know. Like there was no indication, but he just seemed overly confident. And I did feel like there were lots of things. They don't have nets like the trapeze artists did, but there were plenty of other things that they did that if they're out of time by a second or two, that's going to be, you know, pretty serious stuff. So I'm like, I just don't feel like it's rated highly enough for the skill and the effort. And I do feel like the performance were a little bit like, another night, another, you know, another day, another dollar. But because people didn't want to clap. But then really you needed to sit there clapping the whole time. So they really just should just save all your applause. So anyway, go, and if you get a chance, go and see it. But you know what I was doing? I was analysing the whole time. I'm like looking at the animals. Like, do they look scared? Their tail's wagging, his tongue's hanging out, he looks all right to me. But then even there were little kids, and they were doing tricks, and then I was trying to like see if they looked terrified or not, you know, whether they were going to get beaten up. Because one girl was doing a bow and arrow with her feet, you know, whilst doing a handstand on her father's hands, you know, as you do, and she kept missing the target. And I was like, oh, you know, like what she was, the fact that she could do that much to start with, let alone pop the balloon that she was aiming for, I wasn't too worried about the balloon. I was impressed already, but you don't know whether, you know, she's going to get a flogger now. But then why do we think so badly of circus people? Like, I think that reflects on us more than anything. Have I got a pimple? No, I'm distracted by my gloriousness. Anyway, that's all I wanted to say. I wanted to talk about the circus. Go and have a crack. I thoroughly enjoyed it. Shat myself a few times, and my girls loved it. Roberto loved it. It gets a thumbs up from Carly Says, and they did say at the start that they have a very strict code of rules and guidelines that they have to follow because they had lions and tigers and a monkey. They did have camels too, but they didn't do anything with the camels tonight. So anyway, they said they had very strict rules and guidelines they had to follow because they were one of the last circuses to have lions and tigers. And actually the lion just sat there. It was not to be fucked with. So anyway, leave a comment. I'll get back to you even if you don't see it live. Subscribe. Oh, I might do this more if I have one person that wants to hear what I have to say. Come across to Facebook. That's where I normally do all my lives. I'm just new to doing it on YouTube. So, lovely chatting. I'll talk to you soon. Bye.